Greetings, Dwayne, CFRN. I'm going to do a quick recap of everything that happened today with the Concierge Trade Alerts. Now, I did a complete blow-by-blow, play-by-play recap during the live radio show. However, sometimes during the radio show, because there's questions, I get a little long-winded and we might get off topic for a minute. What I want to do is I want to try to, in about the next 10 minutes, just simply walk you through the trade setups and let you know what happened. Okay? We had another incredible day. Let me show you. Now, this is the email that went out last night. Monday evening, 6:30. Typically, I don't get the alerts out till about 9, but on a Sunday night and on a holiday Monday, I have the opportunity to get them out a little bit early. Okay? Last night, I'm going to give you a second to take a screenshot, a screen grab, anything you want to do so that I don't have to pull this out on every trade. Okay? I'm going to read to you exactly what happened. I'm going to bring it out now, and then I'll bring it out again at the end of the video. Okay? So in case you don't have your screen grab ready right now, you can grab it later. All you got to do is hit pause on the video, right? Okay. So, with the S&P 500, we were looking to sell 2262. We did not have a long trigger. And I'll point out that these are last week's weekly trading zones. All of our partners got their weekly trading zones this morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Okay? Typically, they get them on Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern. But whenever there's a Monday holiday, we roll that out to Tuesday. Each week, I reveal this week's weekly trading zones to the general public, whoever is attending the daily radio show or whoever's watching the recap video. You get to see this week's trading zones as of Thursday. Okay? All right. So last night, this vertical line on every one of the charts, you'll see a vertical line. The vertical line represents 6:30 p.m. last night. Why? Because that's when we sent the alerts out. Okay? We said on the S&P 500, sell 2262. Price dropped 4.5 points. That's $250 per contract available. Now, if you've ever listened to our radio program or ever tuned into one of our recap videos, you know that we have a very strong belief that important prices and important areas are almost always tested. In fact, this entire trading methodology is built around the fact that important prices and important areas are almost always tested. What we do in the live training room each morning is very strict rules-based trading. This style of trading is a little more discretionary, but it still has a set of rules that comes along with it. And if you decide to become a Concierge Trade Alert partner, then I will be most happy to spend time with you in a personal mentoring session and help you learn those very few rules. People always want to know, well, where does the stop go? Where's the target? I teach you these things, okay? The chart tells you where to put your stop. The chart tells you where to expect a target. Wouldn't you much rather have the target tell you these things than some guru or some indicator or oscillator or, we're trading the market. Wouldn't it be best if the market told us where to put our stop? Wouldn't it be best if the market told us where to look for our profits? Of course it would. However, no one's ever been willing to share that with you before. That's a closely guarded secret. Not here. We want you to learn how to trade. We want you to become successful. We want to work ourselves out of a job. We hope you'll always be a part of our community, always be a part of the radio audience, but we don't want to put you in a place where you are forever dependent upon us. So whether you choose to go with the live training room in the morning or with the Concierge Trade Alerts, and by the way, if you go with the Concierge Trade Alerts, that actually includes the live training room in the morning. It also includes our indicator set. It also includes our strategy. It even includes a platform with live data at no charge if you need one. Okay? Here we go. 4.5 points, $250, 4 3/4 points, $275 per contract available. And we had a little drop right here, good for 2 1/4 points. Okay? Let's go to the Dow. We do 8 markets each night, 2 trades per market. In the Dow today, there was no long trigger. I had someone contact me the other day on our website. We have a chat app, and sometimes I'm able to monitor it, sometimes I'm not, sometimes other people monitor it. And he said, you know, you sent me a thing last week that showed a 3-day run with the Concierge Trade Alerts, and that was pretty awesome, I gotta admit, but come on, what's the real deal? I said, well, the real deal is the last 3 years are recapped every day on the radio show. So you can go to emini.cfrn.net. That's probably where you are right now, but our videos get picked up by a lot of different people and a lot of different places. So if you happen to be watching it somewhere else, there you go. You can watch years of recap videos. We recap the markets every day on the radio show. We recap the trades on the radio show. The main site is simply CFRN.net. If you want to be a part of all that's taking place here, go to emini.cfrn.net. There's a baseball player at the top of the page. Click the 3 little dots underneath him. It'll open that post up and you can click. Or you can do this. I recommend you do that and go with the Concierge Trade Alert trial because it's going to include everything else for you. However, if you simply want the live training room in the morning, go to apply.cfrn.net. Either way you show up, we'll love to have you, okay? All right. So today on the Dow, we were looking to sell 19,765. First move down was good for 48 points. The Dow pays $5 per point. S&P pays 50, Dow pays 5. There's a 10-to-1 ratio there. $240 per contract available. Did I mention that important prices in important areas are almost always tested? Price gets back above the trigger, hands us a $145 per contract trade. Gets back above the trigger. It doesn't drop enough to give us really much of a trade, It also, on the pullback, doesn't come anywhere near stopping us out. And the least amount of risk, you'll hear me say this again and again, the least amount of risk almost always gives you the greatest profit potential. So what do we end up with here? 68 points times $5 is $340 per contract available. So we had a $240 possibility, a $145, and a $340. Now, we never get out at the exact swing high or the exact swing low. Why is that? Well, because we trail our stop, or we use our indicators to pinpoint where we should exit the trade. This means we're always going to leave a little bit on the table. Before I go any further, let me tell you that trading is risky. You can lose all of your money and then some, and that you should consult with a licensed investment professional before you do any trading or investing. And the bottom line is, before you can open a brokerage account, you're going to have to sign your name about 50 times. Well, actually, it's only about 5. That says, I realize that this is risky and that I am dealing with risk capital, and I understand that it's possible that I could lose it. I tell you that because you need to know, and the CFTC wants you to know. Use of this product or any of the CFRN products signifies that you have read all CFTC disclaimers and CFRN disclosures at our main website, CFRN.net. Now, as I said, on the Concierge Trade Alerts, I send you 8 trades every night, okay? The S&P gave us 3 trading opportunities, 3 opportunities to get our goal for the day. The Dow gave us 3 trading opportunities, 3 separate opportunities to get our goal for the day. Bonds gave us 1, 2, 3 trading opportunities in the opposite direction. Last night when we sent out the email, we said to buy 153.01. Now this first little run-up was good for $437.50. 14 ticks at 31.25 per tick. There are 32 ticks to a point in bonds. I don't recommend bonds for beginners simply because the point value is so high. It's wonderful when you're on the right side of the trade, but if you're on the other side of the trade, maybe not so wonderful. This pullback here, if you were trailing your stop tightly, then you would have gotten taken out on this pullback and you would have exited with some very nice profit. If, on the other hand, once you assume the risk, if you held on to the risk, then you were rewarded with a 27 tick move. That's 5 ticks shy of $1,000 per contract. This is roughly about $900 is what it is. Price then gets back below the trigger and offers us a $310 trade. 10 ticks at 31.25 per tick. Back below the trigger, up we go again. 22 ticks at 31.25 per tick, well over $600. Once again, we get back below the trigger. Off we go again. 13 ticks times 31.25. I'm going to guess that's right around $400. Okay? You can do the math for me. Moving on to the Nasdaq. On the Nasdaq, we said to sell 50.41. $220 per contract available on the first move down. Price got back above the trigger. On the second trip down, the market made $320 per contract available. Price got back above the trigger, and on the third trip down, the market made $260 per contract available. Now, let me point out that the S&P, the Dow, the Nasdaq, and we're coming up on the Russell in just a few moments, the margin to trade those is only $500 per contract. Wait a minute. You mean I could put up $500 to trade something and actually make more than $500 and be flat by the end of the day? That's exactly what I mean. Along with trading being risky and all the other stuff I just told you. Yeah, it's absolutely possible. It's not a fantasy. It's a reality. However, there's a hitch. You got to learn how to trade. Are you willing to put forth the time, the patience, and the energy to actually learn how to trade? If you fall for some of the stuff that you'll find on some of the websites about how this is easy, and if you buy this indicator or this oscillator, money will just jump out of the market into your pocket. You'll make all kinds of money in your bedroom slippers before you finish your breakfast. There's a scripture. I hate to even use it, but it's a scripture. A fool and his money are soon parted. Please, 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 don't allow people who are mean-spirited and dark-hearted to steal your hard-earned money, okay? I know it sounds good. It sounds wonderful. Fur coats and Bentleys and gold teeth and all the other stuff. But it's not reality. Trading is a job. The good news is you're the boss. You own the business. For some people, that's a problem because they've never been the boss before. They've always had someone to tell them what to do, when to do it, where to go, when to come back, But as you begin to open, run, and manage your own trading business, and that's how we teach you. We teach you to treat it as a business. You have to write a business plan. You have to write a training plan. You have to be in touch with your CPA. Are you going to be a C Corp? No. Are you going to be an S Corp? Maybe. Are you going to be an LLC? Probably. Could you be a sole proprietorship? Maybe. It depends upon the advice that your CPA gives you. We're traders, not tax accountants. We do not give out tax advice. However, I'm going to ask you the first time we do a personal mentoring session, have you spoken with your accountant? No. Why? I'm kind of embarrassed to tell them I'm trying to become a trader. Why? If you bought a Subway sandwich shop, would you be ashamed of that? Well, no, I'd be proud of that. Well, then, what's the stigma with trading? Well, back in the tech days, people lost their houses. Sure they did. And you know what? My heart breaks for those people. But the rest of us learned some incredible lessons. When we put up $500 in margin to trade the S&P 500, we're controlling over $100,000 of equity in the S&P 500 best of breed. That's worth more than some houses in some communities. But you're only risking $500. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You're using a hard stop. And you know what? With the Concierge Trade Alerts, we rarely risk more than $300 per trade. And if you're trading in the live training room, we never, not ever, do we risk more than 8 ticks or $100 per contract per trade. Now you might be thinking, gosh, you guys are a little aggressive with the risk management, aren't you? You bet we are. Because we want you to be around not only tomorrow, but next week, next month, and next year. If we don't watch out for you, who will? If you have an answer to that question other than us, I'd love to hear it. Okay? Support at CFRN.net, 949-42 Emini. We really want to see you succeed as a trainer, as a trader. Our training is different than what you'll find at most places. We do group sessions Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. But on top of that, where the real learning comes, I shouldn't say the real learning, but after the group classes, we do one-on-one mentoring sessions with you as often as you need for as long as you're an active partner. Now, initially you start out with a 90-day mentoring program, if that's the route you choose. After the 90 days, we don't kick you to the curb. You can remain active for as long as you want for a minimal monthly fee. If you choose to go that route, you do own the indicator set for life. So please, if you have any questions, give Michael a call, 949-42 Emini. He has a very unique way of just cutting to the chase and answering your question. I have a tendency to over-explain everything, and when you just want an answer to your question, give him a call. If you want to chat for a while, get a hold of me. Soybeans. Last night we said to buy 1055, and the first 30 minutes up, well, actually it was about 45. 6 3/4 points were available at $50 per point. That works out to $337.50 per contract available. Now, most folks who trail their stop tightly would be out about here. But some, once they assume the risk, they're going to let it play out. For those who chose to let it play out, we had what's called a gee whiz. We put in a double top right at the $1,000 per contract available, or 20 points at $50 per point. 20 times 50 is $1,000 per contract. The Russell. The Russell has been through a lot. First, they moved it to the ICE exchange. Then they started charging $115, I think it is, per month for the data. Then it paid a beautiful $100 per point, and they whacked it to $50 a point. Thank goodness in June, the Russell is coming back home to live at the CME where it first began. Yay, Russell. We said to sell 1368. The first trigger took us down to $300 per contract available. Okay. Price pulled back. Unless you kept your stop in its original spot, you got taken out. And you see how price tried to test that important price, important area? Apparently, in my calculations, I got it just a tad off. Okay, because it didn't quite make it. All right. But if you were still in the trade, it dropped another $900 per contract. That's another place you can find us. We broadcast live every day on YouTube. We do a live show. However, I'm not able to monitor the chat room on Yahoo. I only have so many hands and so many eyes. I do the very best I can to manage our GoToWebinar chat room, and If somebody wants to volunteer to be the eyes and ears over at YouTube, send me an email and let me know. Just know that if you're watching from YouTube and you put a question into the chat box, I won't see it and you won't get an answer. Come join us in the GoToWebinar room. Everybody is invited to the radio show each day. That's where I recap all of this stuff. Doesn't cost you a dime. You can come every single day. People have been coming. Well, we're in our second decade of broadcast. And we have members of the audience who've been with us literally since day one. Okay? On Flipboard, if you search for CFRN Emini Futures Trader, please follow us. Twitter.com/CFRN. Follow us. Facebook. All you got to do is search for Emini Futures Trading and our little blue logo will pop up. Follow us, would you? I'm not really sure why, but they tell me that's really good if you do, so like us. Give us a thumbs up, whatever all that stuff means. I'm a trader, not a social engineer. I'm a teacher. I'm a trainer. I'm a mentor. So I'll rely on you guys to get us all high ranked in these different social arenas. Google Plus is emini.cfrn.net. I'm sure you know what all that means, right? Okay. Crude oil. We said to buy 52.75 last night. Now, we sent one email. It's got all 8 markets in the same email. We said to buy 52.75. The first run up was good for $360 per contract. If you held through the pullback, you may have, you may not, $770 per contract available. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. $280 per contract available. If you've never been here, this is a product we have that sends 2 smoking hot trades to your smartphone every single day, right about 11 a.m. Eastern. I tend to do one $500 margin trade like the S&P, the Russell, the Nasdaq, the Dow. And then I do one higher margin trade like crude oil, gold, something along those lines. But for just $29.95 a week, you get 2 trades sent to your smartphone every single day. So for those who have day jobs, you're out on the run, you're maybe studying at night, you're training in the simulator at night, but you want to be able to put on trades in the daytime. This could be the product for you. Take a look. CFRN.net/emini-daily-double. Okay, we've covered the ES 1, Dow 2, bonds 3, Nasdaq 4, soybeans 5, Russell 6, crude oil 7. Only one place left to go, and that's gold. And what a performer gold was. Last night at the vertical line, we said buy 1206 if you get the opportunity. Well, we did. And we hit a swing high of 1218.90. Now, I wrote 1,290. I should have wrote $1,218.90. 1218.90 times $10. Is that even right? Let me put my glasses on. I'm trying to do this like a young man with no glasses. 12. Here, I'll do it. Let me do it the other way. 12, 18, 90 was the swing high, minus 1206 equals 12.9 times 12.9 times $10 per point. I had it right the first time. It's been a long day. 1,000, and it's long from over $1,290 per contract available. However, most people trail their stop. Now, you hear me say, but if you had the indicators on, you'd still leave a little on the table. Let me show you what I mean. Insert, indicators, CFRN, CFRN. Okay. See where we triggered here? You see where the little black step line crossed on the south side of the CFMA1? And this was a long trade, think blue or green. We had a red candle close below the step line, which was on the south side of the MA1. Now, that candle closed at 12:15:40. So instead of getting out at 12:18:90 by using the indicators, when this closes, that tells you to exit at exactly that price. 12:15:40. So you left about $300 on the table. We also have a rule of thumb that says anytime you make $1,000 per contract in one instrument in one day, take the money and put the mouse away. Why do we say that? Because the rubber band only stretches so far, okay? Price will always revert to the mean. What'd it do? Reverted to the mean. Do you really want to give all that back when you can be out here? That's why we suggest when you catch a runner, use the indicators. Okay. If you want these alerts in your inbox tonight, go to emini.cfrn.net. Click that old baseball player, the post will open up. There'll be a link there so that you can take advantage of it. Or down here, cfrn.net/emini-trade-alert-service. That's a lot, but you can put your video on hold until you type that all in. Okay? Now, on that page, what you'll see are the charts from last week that the one fellow had such a hard time, believing that could just, be the truth. And so I compared them to some charts that were originally placed on that page. God, I think it was back in 2015, over 2 years ago, or at least 2 years ago. Might have even been 2014. I'm not sure. Go there, check it out. You'll see that the same thing is happening today that was happening then. Now, I know you're going to laugh, but the more things change, the more they stay the same. What our methodology and what our indicators do, when you apply them to a market, any market, they go in, They find the underlying rhythm of the market. You will never ever see us buy the top, or I take that back, sell the top, or buy the bottom. We're not in the business of doing that. We take a bite out of the middle. We're not looking to hit a home run every day. We're not looking to knock it out of the park. We want to get to first base every day, consistently, day after day after day after day. That's how you become a professional trader, not a one-hit wonder. You learn to be consistent. We teach you how to develop a trading plan. You set a daily goal, and once you reach your goal for the day, you put the mouse away. Because I'm promising you, if you sit there and keep pushing that sack of money back and forth across the desk, it's awfully funny how when the music stops, the sack of money seems to almost always be on the other side of the desk. So for once, why don't you learn to end the day, day after day, with the sack on your side of the desk? Doesn't that sound good? It's called consistent profitability. It's not a myth. It's not a mystery. It's a plan that you put into action. You're in control. You're in charge. You're the boss. This is your business. The more you treat it like a business, the more it will behave like a business. And the more it behaves like a business, the more business-like results you're going to get. So I hope you'll follow one of these many links that I've given you throughout this recap. And I hope to see you tomorrow morning in the live trading room. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email or call us. support@cfrn.net or 949-42-EMINI. I'll see you there. Take care.